Movie Wars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Movie Wars podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Seth.
I'm Marianna.
She's back.
She's back.
We got her.
She's back.
We have a
back.
long roster of friends that in a roster we haven't even gotten to of friends, but we have a repeat guest, which is great. You're the second, I think. Drew's the only other repeat, maybe?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Good
What's
company.
funny is the next episode we're recording is coming out before this episode. So everyone's going to be like, we know she's back. What's going on?
Whoa, that's true.
Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
was all my doing, too, because of Midsommar.
It's all good. Yes. What a movie we are
Yeah.
about to discuss.
Yeah, and we're locked up for the happiness slot today because we're going to do Black Swan after. So we just decided it's summertime.
Which is last week, so.
Yeah, it's summertime, so let's just depress ourselves all to hell.
Yeah.
But we're so glad you're back. How you been since the last episode? You did The Shining,
Yeah.
and what was the other one?
Sometimes I
Drive.
think about dying.
And sometimes I think about dying.
Yeah, and Drive.
And Drive.
And there has to be a fourth one. No. We did two of
Oh,
them.
so this is your third.
This is
Yeah.
her third time on here.
Oh
right?
man.
I know.
So you're the
There
queen.
was
You're the
another
May
one.
Queen.
I am. Oh my God, I'm the May Queen.
You're the May Queen.
I'm the May Queen. Make a note, everybody. Make a note.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I expect offerings as the May Queen.
Yes. After you break that sadistic smile at the
Yeah.
end, which we'll get to. That. Holy shit.
I love it.
What a goddamn
Did you
movie.
see it? I did it.
Oh, she did it. There we go. They're kind of like, I'm so glad to be here.
This was my first introduction to Ari Aster.
Yeah.
What a crazy time. I had no fucking clue what I was
Mm-hmm.
getting myself into other than simply I knew the name and that it took place in Sweden and had some Norse ritual ideas with it. But like
Yeah.
I went in so blind into the movie theater, snuck in a flask of bourbon,
Nice.
put it in my Diet Coke and watch it. That I got to say, that was a crazy experience.
Good move with
Yeah.
the bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been punishable by Harga law, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If I'd
Really?
known the heavy
know, I'm
mushroom
thinking
use
about
was in it, I probably would have gone on
Yeah.
mushrooms.
I was
But
about to say, yeah, they're doing mushrooms the entire movie.
No sneaking, though. I don't know. Well, and we actually, when we first kicked off Movie Wars 2.0, this movie, we wanted to do this with you like
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we finally got on the schedule. And I want you, I usually do all the talking at the beginning, but she is the biggest fan of this film
Yeah.
that exists. She has things. She has, what do you call it? Tchotchkes?
Tchotchke.
She's got tchotchkes.
souvenirs.
She's
Tchotchke.
souvenirs.
There's one.
Yep.
That's my desk souvenir.
That's incredible that you have this
Yeah.
for this.
Oh, I have a patch. I left it in my backpack
Yeah.
though, but it's a little
Yeah.
Halsingland.
Oh, nice.
So tell us about your passion for it. Why do you love it? And also maybe just kind of give us just give us the thing.
And
What
for
is it?
those of you who don't realize, this is releasing on Midsummer. Like,
Yep.
like today is Midsummer.
We did
So,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You're welcome.
Seth has a mallet that after I jump off his roof, he's going to
Yes.
put me out of my misery
Yes.
It'll be
Yeah.
so fun, and then I'll get to do the mallet after him.
And
Yeah.
then I'm going to put a stick up his ass and yeah.
with. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part of the movie.
It was heavily implied.
Oh, really?
Heavily implied that they fucked one of the dudes in the ass with something.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Will Poulter because they fucking hated that guy.
they did. I mean, they had sticks coming through them at the end when they put them in bowl.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead.
And
Yeah.
then there was also the Blood Eagle guy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Oh my God, the guy with the lungs open at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
visceral.
They took that from Hannibal.
But people have always talk about this movie like it's not.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
I know. Whenever people say it's not scary, I'm like, I guess you didn't watch all of it.
Maybe because it's daytime horror,
Yeah.
they're like, it's not as scary. But I think that's
Yeah.
honestly for me what made it scarier was there were no crazy shadows and like there were no jump scares necessarily or like traditional jump scares. Like it was
Yeah.
a very opposite kind of horror movie.
Oh, I just realized I'm supposed to be doing an intro.
There you go.
Yeah.
This movie, it's Midsommar, Ari Aster. I have no idea why this movie touched me so much. I think it has to do more with the tragedy at the beginning of it and then the birth of her at the end as like a new version of herself
Yeah.
in a world where she can actually thrive as a person. Yeah. And it is kind of like my dream come true in a way. And she lives in like this beautiful flower world in Sweden at the end. So, you know, she goes from having this very mediocre existence with her boyfriend, who honestly, that's the horror of the movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sort of. I feel for him because I have been on his side of things, but
Yeah.
I've also been on her side of things. So
Yeah.
it's like he should have been honest about his feelings from the get-go, but I also understand being in a position where you're like, if I am honest, this might send her further into a spiral.
I have a question about this, so
Oh, yeah.
Save it.
Yeah.
This is good.
Okay.
I got a
Cool.
question
Yeah.
about this. It's a real,
But yeah, it's like I could definitely see it from both sides, but I definitely think he took the coward's way out.
Yeah. Well, my problem with him is just I hate when people waste my time and are not honest with me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I just feel like he's wasting her life despite her going through a tragedy. I mean,
Oh, 100%. That's where I'm like, he took the coward's way out.
he still could have been a person in her life.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't have to stay her boyfriend. Like, and honestly, they had a year of a bad relationship. How do you get to a year in a bad relationship?
I've been
I
there.
say, I know. I
I've
say
been
after
there.
I've had a lot of bad relationships, so I'm like, ugh, yeah, I remember. And especially when you're young and in college.
Oh, yeah. And I do have a surprise for you that I just remembered. I
What?
actually saw
Oh
the
my
flower
God!
dress in person.
Oh my God!
Where?
was
At the
this?
Academy Museum in LA.
Wow.
They have it on display. Yeah. So I actually got to see that
Wow.
thing in person.
I love this.
I'll send this picture to Kyle so he
Let's
can
say
can
zoom
pop it in the
in.
edit. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
It is every bit as fantastic as it looks in the movie.
That's killer.
So
Yeah.
happy.
So
I wrote down some of the things from the movie when I was rewatching it on mushrooms, which is the first time I ever got to watch it on mushrooms.
Oh,
Hell
wonderful. I bet that was horrible.
It was.
while we're on that subject,
Yeah.
before you get deep into that, I will say for people who have not done mushrooms, if you ever want to know what it actually looks like to take just enough to start seeing some shit, this is the most accurate representation of mushrooms I have ever seen on screen. It's that weird, like, things moving unnaturally. The earth looks like it's breathing. Like the water kind of looks like it's going in and out. Like this was a shocking moment for me because I had just done mushrooms like a year or two before for the first time, and I was like, holy shit, this is what I've been trying to describe to people.
Yeah, they get the the lines that
Yes.
sort of get on everything that sort of make you feel like you are connected to everything.
Yeah.
That's why whenever I do mushrooms, I'm just like, it makes me so calm.
Yeah. That
I'm like,
moment
oh,
of the
thank God.
grass in her hand, like that's
Growing
what
through
it
her
feels
hand.
like.
Yeah, or in her feet when she's about to dance.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, I watched it on decaf, so imagine how I felt.
It still
You're just
is
sitting there, gay.
Oh shit!
Turn it off.
What are you doing?
There's no boobs.
And the ones there are old.
Well, this is one of the only times where would say a naked group of women was not sexy.
No.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever been like, oh God, there's a sex scene.
Yeah. It was definitely a scene, man.
Yeah. It's like I wanted my mom to come in so I had an excuse to turn that scene off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you love the transformation.
love the transformation.
You love the transformation.
Yeah.
What else? What else do you dig?
Honestly, just the setting, and I like the pacing of it, even though that's criticized online for the most part.
Really?
Yeah, people really didn't like. They felt like it dies off, and I feel like it just kind of embodies what it would be like to be there. I feel like it puts you more in the moment of the movie. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those horror movies that's designed to make you more uncomfortable until it really starts getting scary.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is very uncomfortable to watch. Like, I have traveled enough, not a ton, but enough to know what it is like to be the outsider in a tight-knit community like that. So it's very jarring to like witness and also be like, oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah. Like I've been in those situations where I'm like, are these people about to like murder me? Like what is going on?
Yeah. Well, and also I was just like, are they going to have an orgy?
Yeah.
It's like a spring festival.
Yeah.
And it all makes sense at the end. Although if you watch the beginning, they show
tell you.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, everything.
Oh yeah, that's this. That's I have a Midsummer shower curtain.
Yeah.
We can cut this
Wow.
if it's too much.
No,
But,
it's great.
It's upside down.
If you're listening and not watching, she's got an actual shower curtain.
That is the opening frame of the movie.
Wow.
I know, right? Isn't
That's
it
incredible.
Amazing. Thank you, whatever online thing I bought this from.
That's incredible.
If you don't know, Seth's entire house is like movie and like fun things from movies and directors and stuff. So it's like I knew out of everybody who would appreciate this, you would appreciate this.
Absolutely.
There's
I wish we had a wall that we could hang it up on just for it to be in the
Right.
background. But
Wow.
Next time.
Well, I love your passion and your love for this. That's fantastic. I
Did you see it in theaters?
I didn't.
Okay.
No, I actually avoided this one for a long time. It's not that I didn't want to see it. I actually started it a bunch of times. I was like,
Okay.
Right. This was your first time getting through it, wasn't
yes.
it? Okay.
It wasn't because I didn't think it was going to be good, but I could just tell. I was like, I need to be in a right mental state, and
Yes.
apparently doing it for the podcast was the right mental state.
Fair.
Oh, good.
So I'm glad.
That's there's been a couple of movies like that for me that I'm like, and then you're like, let's do it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
fine, I'll watch it, and then I enjoyed him.
Part of it is like I just I grew up really loving slasher films, and I didn't mind gore, but for some reason later in my life, I think it's two things. I have 4 kids, so for some reason gore and stuff, and even though I know it's weird to associate this movie with the gore because there's so much more going on.
Yeah,
but
it is still viscerally gory. At
yeah,
times.
and the way Ari Aster depicts those things is very unsettling.
Very.
So
He wants you in it.
yes.
Yeah, it's worse.
And
Yeah.
so I needed to be in a mood, and apparently sitting on an airplane on the way to Las Vegas, surrounded by 2 strangers, was the perfect
you
way
got a
to
middle seat.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the bitch seat of the plane.
And I was watching this, and I kept just doing this with my phone, like, you didn't see that hammer hit that guy's head, right? Sorry. How's preschool going?
You didn't see the cracked out teeth in the face.
Yeah.
I remember you texted me, you were about to watch it on the plane, and I was like, yeah, you should do mushrooms for the first time right now. I think on a plane is a perfect place.
You wanted my first time on mushrooms to be A, watching this movie, B, on an airplane.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
Between 2 other people that you don't know.
Maybe we're not friends.
That would have been such a good sketch, though. That'd be so funny. You're losing your mind.
The
You're
lady
like,
to my left, I'm like,
We're gonna write this.
Are
We're
you
gonna
a
make it
hard
happen.
yes, laying down in the aisle, just like make it stop. I don't know how y'all go on mushrooms.
I'm very chill on mushrooms. I like what I like is I like to have 2. If I'm not outside, then I have 2 rooms. I have the trip out room, which is just blasting like Tobacco or Black Moth Super Rainbow or the Flaming Lips or Pink Floyd. Usually all of them shuffled together, and I've got crazy lasers and lights and shit. And then I have this room, which is the calm zone, where you can, if you're overstimulated, you just come back out and you're like, I am back in reality.
Yeah.
So,
Both
yeah.
sound great, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and you, I
Yeah.
feel like, especially if you're not in nature, you need that balance of like, no, I need to like go deep into the zone, and then I need to come back to reality while I'm still tripping out.
It's amazing how decaf does the same thing for me. It's amazing. I go into a room with lasers.
I think they call that alcoholic withdrawals.
Yeah, that's actually
7 months later.
that is actually what it is called. And fucking grumpy as hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, decaf and beef jerky.
And a cigar. Cigars are the only vice I have left. I'm just, yeah, life's great. Yeah, life is great. Yeah.
That'll kill you
We smoked
quicker.
cigars once, and I saw him inhaling, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
How you been doing, Seth? You still liking doing the podcast? You liking it?
You want to
Pretty
come on
good.
officially as a co-host?
You want to do it? You want to do this big time?
Oh my god,
We're gonna make the dollars.
All 4 of my kids came out and hugged me. I'm just like, yeah. Good night, darling.
Sleep well, sweetheart. I'll see you in the morning.
want
Daddy loves you.
You want to puff?
Stop doing an impression of my aunt, okay? This is my ain't net. You're doing an impression.
How
of.
you doing, Marianna? It's been 6 months since Easter.
You know what my doctor sent me for Easter? A picture of my lung. It's still blacker than ever.
We named it Jabari.
Oh, Midsummer.
This is what happens when you get comedians on. It's lovely.
Yeah, I was about to say, as soon as you were like, you should start the episode, I was like, this is gonna go. off
It's gonna
the
go
rails
great.
immediately.
What are these notes you wrote down?
Oh yeah,
I want to hear your mushroom notes.
Yes.
this was fun. I
Couldn't find the play button on the DVD player.
I wrote in all caps, just codependent. My favorite line of his, though, because like they're both codependent, but when he goes, I invited her and she accepted, but she's not actually going to Sweden.
Yeah, she's not coming.
Like, she's not coming. And then my favorite line for her is, she was like, I forgot to remind him it was my birthday.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Typical victim mentality.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his friends suck, except for Pele, sort of, because I have a theory that Pele, like, knew what was going to happen, and he was like, this is my new wife.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Oh,
know
100%. This
your
is my
thoughts on
sister
that.
wife.
No, of course
Specifically
he
that.
knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he knew what was going to happen, but I think he was like, definitely, maybe edging things along so that they did happen.
Now,
oh yeah,
did he
but
do it?
I mean, he brought her for a reason. He knew she was the blonde outsider who. So he's
Yeah.
like, no, this is it was all calculated on his part. In my
So
opinion.
Now, how did he know she was going to win, though? Like, is it because of her trauma? Like, did he know that she needed a transformation would take place and that she had maybe that energy of transformation to push her to win? Or did he have some kind of spiritual insight? Like, that was my thing is like, I do think in some ways it was orchestrated. And that's actually my second question I had. We can get to the questions in a minute, but that was my big curiosity is like, how did he know? I do think he knew, but like why and how?
I think it was that conversation they had after that gorgeous mirror shot where it's like that 2-minute long shot where it's just in the mirror. It's such a good shot.
Oh, so good.
And then she sits down and they start talking. He's like, sorry to hear about your family and everything. I think it was that conversation where he was like, no, she needs to come. Like, she's going to be the one.
Yeah.
Can I tell you my favorite Easter egg from that scene?
Please.
That I think I made up in my head, but maybe not. The thing that I hated about her dynamic with her boyfriend was that he's always kind of lying to her and like misleading her. But then Pele's sitting there drawing, and he's drawing the table, and she's like, oh, what are you drawing? And he's just like, the table. And he's just, for whatever reason, and then they show that he's drawing the table, and it's like, obviously he's not lying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know why, but that little tiny thing was what kind of set my mind in motion of like, oh my God, he's honest with her. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the stark difference and how easy it is.
Throughout the whole movie, I don't think he ever told a lie. He definitely omitted the truth when it came to the suicide moment. He never told a lie. He was always honest about things. And you could see him carefully wording things. Yeah. So he was like, no, I technically told you, but I didn't tell you everything. Like, it was that very interesting, like, blatant honesty that gets you to trust him. And then when you know what happens, you're watching it and like, oh, that's where he's kind of moving things.
And also, he's, I think, just a random Swedish guy. I don't think he's an actor because I did follow him on Instagram for a little while, and he just kind of has a regular life.
He didn't invite you to a commune, did he?
Not yet. I mean, I was hoping.
She's like, fingers crossed.
I know. I was hoping he would follow me back, but this was
Wilhelm Blomgren.
Yeah.
And what's funny, I'm kind of used to this because one of my favorite directors is Refn. And so, like, so many of his movies are just random people from the Scandinavian countries, and I'm just used to all these crazy names and stuff. And like,
well, I think all of the people that are there in the commune are just regular Swedish people. I don't think they're even, most of them I don't think are actors.
Yeah.
Maybe the few that talk a lot.
Yeah.
But.
And I'm sure he seems like a well-trained enough actor that I'm sure he has studied and probably acted in theater stuff, like local stuff. But no, I don't. Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah. He's so good. All of them. Good. And I don't know, I have kind of noticed this with kind of the Norse and Scandinavian countries. Whenever I see actors from there, I don't ever see them overact. Like, for whatever reason, no matter what the script is, every single person I've seen from that area of the world, like, their normal speaking voice is just so nonchalant that I'm like, I feel like he's just like, just say the words.
That's Mads Mikkelsen to a T.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite actors.
And Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah, both of them. Have this very, like, nonchalant way of, like, I'm just talking.
Yeah. He was in Death Stranding. I was texting you about replaying Death Stranding, and like Mads Mikkelsen in that, like, his delivery in that game is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good.
I'm excited to watch a stream of it. I've been needing to.
Yeah. Actually, it's a good segue. Let's just get into the questions because we're already talking about it. But this was the question I wrote down.
You want to plug the show first?
Yeah. Maybe you're in an ambiguously toxic relationship. Maybe it's toxic, maybe it's not, but you need a vacation.
Yeah.
And let's not land in Sweden or anywhere in the perimeter.
It's expensive anyways.
Let's go to Alabama. Let's go to southern Florida. Let's go somewhere abroad.
If you don't hear banjos, you're in the wrong place.
Yes, because you're not going to repair your relationship in a commune.
No.
It's obvious.
You're not going to recover from your family's murder-suicide.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough, so share movie wars with your toxic beloved other and
use this as a way to break up with your toxic beloved other and just be like, hey, Midsommar, we're done.
Here's a podcast that tells you we're over.
Yeah.
It's called Movie Wars.
Yeah.
Send it to your friends.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too.
The questions. Let's get right back into it. We've already kind of covered it, but is Christian really a bad boyfriend? Now, I know he's a bad boyfriend, but is he bad?
See, okay. Yeah. I'm excited to talk about this.
How toxic? So that's the thing. I love this movie, by the way. I was texting you the whole time, like, this dialogue, and we'll get into the scorecard, but there was so much. I was like, I just can't believe how well written this shit is.
Yeah.
But I do have a little bit of a quip with how toxic the relationship is.
Yeah.
It's not a good relationship, but I have seen much much worse in my personal life.
Here's my thing with it, and like I alluded to earlier, I've been on both sides of this. I have definitely been the guy who's like, I really need to cut myself off from this person, but I also don't want them to go and spiral and try to kill themselves. Like I've been right there, but I've also been on the side where I've been like, I've had someone who has been kind of terrible to me, whether they meant to or not, and I couldn't see it and I couldn't get myself out of it. So it's like, I empathize with him in that I don't think he's a bad person, and I don't think he was trying to be malicious in how he was dealing with her. I think he's just a fucking idiot.
He's stunted emotionally.
Yes, and I think everyone was just like, bro, just fucking do it. And it's like, oh, I don't think I can. I'm like, I think he's more dumb than he is a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely agree. Also, these people are 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Like
I think they're 23 to 25 because they're in grad school.
Okay.
Because they're all doing their
So,
thesis.
They're young. They're kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still consider them kids. So, like, I was horrible at being in a relationship then.
Oh, yeah.
And as much as I would love to just harshly judge him as, like, a terrible person, like, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the wrong relationship.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And she was going through some horrible shit.
Yeah.
And I would be the same way. I would be like, I don't know what to do.
I know, but also I just feel like they should have ended it a long time before they got to this
Oh, yeah.
point, so.
And we can't minimize too the thing that got me, and I say this as a person who's had to rid of my toxic bullshit, not to use Gen Z terms, but I have had to I've spent lots of hours in therapy ridding of my toxic bullshit.
Ridding your toxic riz.
Yeah, that I was bringing into my relationships with friends, people, peers, my children. When you raise children and get married, if you want to have a success in those areas, you got to get rid of your toxic bullshit.
Yeah.
She, before the suicide or the murder suicide of her folks, was showing signs of her own shit. And I'm not saying it's right. It doesn't mean Christian was right, but also Christian was just not the right guy to be paired with someone who needed to do some work.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for her because I related to, because I saw some of my old behaviors in her character, and I was like, God, I've been there, bro.
Is he really a bad guy?
Well, she had unresolved even before the murder suicide.
She wasn't ready for a relationship. I don't think she needed to be with anybody at that point in her life. I mean, when you're going through that kind of big stuff with your family, I've had a lot of that, and I regret being in relationships when I should have been focusing on doing the work to become a healed person, and not just like checking out and pretending like I was in love with somebody. Maybe this will make maybe I'll feel loved finally.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh yeah, no, that's not how love works.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel bad for both of them.
Yeah.
And none of the dudes, as bad as they are, as bad as one of them is at least.
Yeah.
None of them deserve to die.
Will Poulter deserved to die.
Yeah.
So he got skinned. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's a rough way to die.
I just got done watching him in The Bear. Like, I've always liked Will Poulter. He is so good in The Bear and lovable, his character. And then I get here, I'm like, I want to punch him.
I know.
He's so good in We're the Millers.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
Have you ever Googled him as eyebrows guy?
Yeah.
Do you know that,
No.
like, if you Google eyebrows guy, Will Poulter shows up?
Really?
So good.
Because he was in, I want to say Divergent or something. And yeah, that was when I first realized I just looked up
He might have
eyebrows
been.
guy.
I know
Yeah.
he was definitely in the third Narnia movie that sucked.
He's been in a bunch. He's been in so much stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
before
he's been
s-
acting since he was a medium child.
Like a baby.
Yeah.
Before Skarsgård, he was actually the lead to reprise Pennywise.
Oh.
Yeah, for a
that'd
long
be
time.
interesting.
That would
was
have been
when-
really cool.
Yeah.
That's when Casey Fukunaga was gonna direct it. True Detective.
Isn't
director.
he now playing the villain in Scary Movie 6?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're making a 6th Scary Movie, and I think he's supposed to play a version of Pennywise.
They lost me at Scary Movie 1, so I
2 and 3 were really good.
That's just been
actually.
years.
They were so good.
Since
4
I've
and
seen it.
I'll watch it
5.
now.
The only reason I watched 5 is because my uncle
Yeah.
showed up randomly in the background of a scene.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He's in Peaky Blinders too, right?
Will Poulter?
Yeah, I think
Maybe?
so. Maybe I
have
can't remember.
to watch that. I just got recommended Peaky
It's
Blinders,
brilliant.
and I have to watch
It's
it. Yeah,
it's perfect.
that and Mobland. Those are my two next.
Oh,
shows.
I need to do
I'm
Mobland.
rewatching The Sopranos right now, though. So
Oh, I do that once every couple
So
of years.
good.
oh, it's so good.
Best show ever made.
It's seriously the best. It's so understated.
It takes me on a ride.
Makes me sad.
Still think True Detective Season 1 is the best.
Actually, yes,
Mm.
that's the
That is
truth.
incredible.
That's actually right.
They're all. I
Yeah.
don't like to pick. I'm obsessed with
I
that
pick
one
favorites.
scene from True Detective, that 6-minute scene of the raid in the house. I've watched that a million times.
That was shot on film. That was the only thing that kept that scene to that length. That was one reel of film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just finished. I actually skipped season 2 because I know it's bad, but actually I finished season 3 on the plane.
Yeah.
Season 3 is
I enjoyed season
Okay.
2.
Season 3 is magnificent.
All right.
It's
heard
really
good
good.
I'll
things.
go back.
I
'cause
actually
started it.
Season 2 had the problem that it was never going to be as good as season
Right.
1. If you just ignore the fact that season 1 exists, season 2 is great. Vince
Yeah.
Vaughn gives one of his best performances.
Oh, yeah,
Colin
he's great.
Farrell gives one of his best performances. Like, it's actually a reasonably good season of television.
Anthology shows always struggle.
Yeah.
Because of that reason.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like you're going to acquire a new fan base every season.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. And plus, Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson were so magnetic. Like,
Flawless.
just it's hard to replace that, even with Colin Farrell. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. I want to get back into this. So it's funny, you guys both hit on the two things I want to talk about. These are less comedic today because I just have so many curiosities. Do you think, like here's how I wrote the question down. Was there ever a window, because this is the most negative feedback I saw consistently about this movie, is like, why couldn't they just leave? How orchestrated was it? Was there ever a window where they could leave, or was this Pele from beginning to end, this was orchestrated? Or could they have at one point left on their own will, do you think?
I mean, two people tried to, and both got fucking destroyed.
Yeah, it's true.
So, I mean, no, they couldn't have. They were so far out in the boonies. That was the whole point. They drove to a place and then walked miles
Yeah.
That's
into
true.
the camp. Like,
Yeah.
no, they could not have left.
I feel like if they hadn't broken rules and like criticized them for doing what they were doing, I feel like they could have left. Honestly,
Yeah.
because the two people at the beginning who were trying to leave, they were criticizing like ritual of the end of their life, and I don't know if I would actually be all that upset if somebody did that in front of me, because like clearly they were looking forward to it. You know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was a ritual. It was like a beautiful thing for them to be able to give their lives. I liked that they didn't have to, the way.
They
What's
didn't
his
have
name
to get
describes
weak.
it?
They didn't have to become senile.
Except
Yeah.
old guy effed it up, though. And
I know he died wrong.
I think he erased all that goodwill. The chick
Yeah.
did a great job, but he
Yeah.
like with his leg getting all detached and landing on his legs instead of his face, like he
Yeah.
screwed it up. So
Idiot.
I think all the goodwill he was trying to create and good energy he
Yeah.
erased by making me watch his severed knee and
Yeah.
Idiot.
ruined
I
it.
I know.
Midsummer my ass.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
Right.
Because when you look at the end of the movie, the whole point was they needed the 4 outsiders.
Yeah.
And those were the 4 outsiders. Like,
Yeah.
those were and so they had to have them.
But there's 6 of them.
One of them was going to be the May Queen.
Yeah.
And one of them was the
Ugh.
potential offering at the end. Because remember, they offered up one of their own guys, too.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, is that plenty of their members all sacrificed themselves as well.
Happily.
That's something that I kind of forgot, because they had the 2 people who had already killed them. And then they had 2 people who volunteered to kill them. And then they had the guy in the bears, or the one that the May Queen picks. I don't know. I want to believe that if they had followed the rules, they would have been able to leave, because there were other people that they could have sacrificed.
But the whole speech he gives at the end was
Oh.
about how they needed 4 outsiders and 4, and then she picked whether the last person was going to be an outsider. Like, no, that was the entire. That's why I'm like, no, there's no way they could have left. The entire ritual, as described by the head guy, was they had to sacrifice 4 outsiders and they had to sacrifice 4 of their own.
But I will say, the guy that was doing the thesis,
Mhm.
he just gets killed and like put in a flower bed, because he like
Wasn't he one of the? No, I think
his
he was there at
foot's
the
in
end.
flower bed.
They cut his legs off,
I didn't see him at the
but
end.
that's because all the other guy. That's because everyone was in doll form at that point.
I don't remember seeing him at the end. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure he was in the barn when they, or the temple when they.
believe me. I've seen this movie hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did see the extended version in the theater last year, which was cool.
What else is in the extended version?
There is one scene. There's literally one extra scene.
Yeah.
And they go to a body of water, and they drown somebody, or they almost drown somebody.
Oh.
It's the oracle. I think they almost drown him,
Oh.
and then they don't.
Interesting.
The inbred guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really crazy.
Was the inbred person a guy or a girl? I thought it was a girl.
Inbred something.
I think that they were just supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were supposed to
Interesting.
necessarily have.
That
like,
was a weird. So
yeah,
weird.
it was weird.
See, I had always been under the assumption, like, because when I watched the trailer of this, they show the oracle's face.
Yeah.
I thought maybe like the ritual was like the one of the people gets stung by a bunch of bees, and
Yeah.
and like I thought that's what that. And then
Not the bees!
yeah, Wicker Man style. Bees, bees.
That's what. Okay,
It's
so
fucking so incredible.
I've been meaning to watch both of the Wicker Mans.
Yeah.
Since this movie, because that's the one that's suggested right afterwards, the one from the 70s. And
Yeah, the first one's really good. The second
I've
one's
heard.
hilarious.
Okay,
it's
I wanna watch
bad.
both.
We should Judge Dredd those and do those
Yeah.
back to back at some point.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll get you on that one.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Yeah.
And Mandy, have you seen Mandy?
No, but I
Oh
need
my
to.
god!
No.
If y'all do Mandy, I want to be on the Mandy.
Okay.
Oh my
Hell
god!
yeah.
Okay.
It's so
Hell
good.
yeah.
It's so good.
Rando.
Windows.
Yes.
I did it too.
Yes. We always love it when our guests do, and usually they do it better than I do, which is weird. It's preceded me, or
Exceeded?
It's exceeded me. It's exacerbated me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It touched him aggressively.
Yes. I love this type of world building. This gives me Michael Mann vibes here. Ari Aster, he authored an extensive 100-page Bible outlining Hargo beliefs, history, traditions, all the shit that you actually see in a movie.
Nice.
He outlined before he started making the film. And it includes a lot of real stuff. So like the pubic hair, menstrual blood,
Yeah.
the jumping ritual, like all that. There are like things like that in real Nordic mythology, but he like put his own creative twist on them and put them in this Bible.
That's dope. I've actually literally been doing the same thing. I'm writing, and I plan on it taking me a long time, but I'm writing a like 300-page history textbook of a fantasy world I'm creating.
Yeah.
To turn into like games and all sorts
I mean, you
of
have to, right? For
Yeah.
that for that
exciting.
genre,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you have to.
World building. Love
Yeah, and they also, and this was, even though the story takes place in Sweden, that's an actual remote village they built from the ground up in Budapest, near Budapest.
That makes sense.
That makes-
Cheaper
yeah.
tax incentives, and when you're doing something that specific.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was
And
what was the budget on this? Do you
Oh,
know?
I don't
Good
know.
question. It's pretty
'Cause-
sparse too, honestly. There's
Yeah.
not except for that giant barn, which I would love to.
But even that's cheap to make.
Really?
$9 million.
That's it.
I mean,
Holy fuck.
let me
It grossed
just-
50 worldwide.
Let me get my
That's
savings
it?
account real quick.
27 in the U.S., 48. Sorry, go ahead.
That's
Got that in my Roth IRA.
Yeah. hey.
See, this is what we need more of. We need more $4 to $10 million movies that can go and do 5x and make 50 million or even 90 million or 100 million, but that don't cost a fuck ton of money to make.
Yeah.
And you've seen that now with A24 has been killing it. Neon has really come out recently with some heavy hitters.
Some Blumhouse.
Blumhouse, absolutely.
Oh,
Which Blumhouse is
love
getting the
Blumhouse.
rights to Saw now. So James
Wow.
Wan will be back in creative control of the,
Wow.
of the Saw franchise.
Finally.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we
that's
need more of this,
exciting.
people.
Yeah.
Give me money.
I mean, watch The Lighthouse. How much
The Lighthouse.
mileage did they get out of that small, tiny budget with
yeah.
basically two actors and three if you include the mermaid? But
Yeah.
how much mileage did they get out of that fucking budget?
Yeah.
And that movie
Seriously.
haunts me to this day.
It's incredible.
It's perfect.
It's so good.
Yeah, I agree with you. More of that. I mean, what are the upgrade?
Upgrade
yeah.
from
Yeah.
Blumhouse. Yeah.
Upgrade.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Anything Blumhouse
This guy
puts
hated
out.
it, but
I
loved
didn't
it.
hate it.
You hated it so hard on the podcast.
I did. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I respected it. But I didn't hate it.
You shat on it so. Go back and watch
I'm gonna
that
go
episode.
listen to it. This is the second time you referred to how much I'm really surprised by it every time because then I look back on it fondly. but-
You and Drew shat on it so hard.
well, I think maybe Drew. I'm just kidding, I don't know.
It was Drew.
It was all Drew.
Drew's
Drew Davis.
negative energy. You know Drew.
Yeah, he's just the most
He's
negative.
such a
left
bitch.
and right, shitting on everything.
Quarter mile
Love you,
at a
Drew.
time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on that this next
Oh,
month
really?
or 2
Nice.
months.
I love
Yeah,
That's
in August.
hilarious.
Drew's the best.
We're
Actually,
doing the Lost City of Z.
Oh my God!
I've never seen it.
The book is amazing.
heard
You can
great
borrow
things.
it if you want. I have it.
I
I've read
won't
it
read
3
it.
times.
I won't read.
But borrow it anyway and just tell everybody you read
Yeah.
it.
It's so good. The book is so good, but the movie's so good, and I love Charlie Hunnam.
I love him too, and I heard bad things when it came out, but it's like now that I've heard more people talk about it, apparently it's great. So I'm
It's
excited to watch
very
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about something interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a good movie or not, but it's like actually about something real that happened or something real-ish that happened.
Next rando.
Sorry.
It's all good. No, this is good. This is all good. It's hard. It's hard. I've said this with comedians as the producer. I always hate interrupting flow because it's always so good.
Yeah.
But I also edit this bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, where do I cut it?
Watch this be the only moment you cut out is you talking about cutting shit out.
Yeah. Woo! This was so good.
That minute sucked.
So Jack Rayner, who played Christian, so originally he wasn't supposed to be running around naked during that scene where he does, but
Funny.
he wanted to be like equal opportunity, and he thought that Christian should have been embarrassed as much as possible. So it was actually his decision to go around fully naked.
Nice.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It really works.
I mean,
with the
especially
story.
right after what just happened. And he's on drugs. He's freaking out.
Yeah.
Like that. Ugh. It is crazy how well it shows both a good trip and a bad trip all throughout the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because this movie already with the sunlight, because there's a lot that you read about how important it is that this movie's completely in light, in the sun. He thought that was another good reason to align it because the women nudity is such a trope in horror. He was like, this movie's already flipping a lot of tropes, so he thought that was a good opportunity to maybe also.
No, 100%. I think it was a great decision.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
More dicks in film.
Yeah. With small budgets, big dicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
even just regular dicks.
Any dicks.
Any scale
Make
of
it regular.
Yeah, micro to aggro. I don't know.
Aggro dicks.
Heart.
HBO, they did. Remember when those people made that video about HBO and they were like, more dicks?
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they did it.
Yeah.
Back in
They
the
were
Game of
like,
Thrones days.
They were like, we'll show you dicks. Okay.
You want cock?
Yeah.
We'll give you cock.
They're like, we're not even going to have a naked woman ever again. Ever again.
I love HBO, but I do want them to revisit that meeting.
Yeah.
I could do with.
There is a lot.
Let's cut it down.
It's a lot.
Like even in movies that don't need it or shows that don't need it, it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, all right.
Let's circumcise it. Just take a little bit off, and then we'll settle. It'll be good.
Yeah, foreskin afterthought. Yeah. That's one of those things I don't know if it's funny or just funny in context.
yeah.
They'll tell us. Don't
We
worry.
laughed.
Yeah, I love it. So this is interesting. So the haunting, the final smile was meant to be, and that's why I asked you about it earlier. It was meant to be ambiguous. There's basically three schools of thought, right? Either she was actually legitimately happy, transformed to see it happen.
Yeah.
B, she's having a psychotic break.
That's what I think it is.
That's-
Yeah, or actually two. I don't think there was a third. But so Florence Pugh basically said she abused herself mentally through the whole film to do the crying. She said that she actually, I don't know if she regrets it, but she said she was sobbing in real life.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw that
Yeah.
I
interview.
could
She
feel
didn't
it.
say she regretted it, but she said she can't do shit like that again.
Yes.
She was like, I was grateful that I got to do a role like that, but I can't again, which I've heard so many people say.
Yeah.
I mean, Christian Bale has even gotten to the point where he's like, I cannot gain and lose weight for movies again.
And he
Like,
doesn't
he's-
need to.
No.
I'm worried about
He's
him.
done it 8 times.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't need to go from The Machinist to Batman Begins in 6 months again.
Yeah.
Oh.
To the
Please
fighter, too.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to do that.
To American
Yeah.
Hustle. Like, ugh.
But can we just for a moment, Florence Pugh. This was the first movie I saw her in.
She was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This put
I
her on the
loved her.
map.
She is at one of my favorite. Every time I see her in anything, I'm like, I will watch it just
Yeah.
because she's in it.
Yeah.
'Cause I know
Very.
that she picks good projects.
Yeah.
Very dimensional in this movie.
Except for
Oh.
Black Widow. That was the
Oh,
character
well.
was fine. The movie was fucking bad.
The cast of that is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a terrible movie. I can't get over how they got all of these beautiful, perfect, amazing actresses in this horrifically written
It's so
long. It was the only Marvel movie I've seen because it's the only one I wanted to see because it's the only
fuck.
one starring Dakota.
Yeah.
Well, that is the worst, second worst. Yeah, Madam Web is definitely worse. That is one of the worst
Bad.
entries you could have picked to watch by itself.
I know. Well, I don't know. Well, going back to Florence Pugh
Yeah.
torturing herself for this role, I could feel it.
Yes.
She's just, I was like, I don't know who this actress is, but I think they
Mm.
just got a grieving person
Yeah.
Pretty much.
to do this because like I feel her so much. And then on my shirt, they have like this scene, but the other shirt that you could have bought was this.
Yeah.
When we saw that in theaters, none of us knew what to do. We all just were like,
When all the women are screaming together.
yeah.
That
I
scene,
love
that's
that.
that's actually part of this rando, and that's one example of how raw she had gotten for that raw. That after that scene, when Aster yelled "cut," all the actresses like were sobbing and clung each
Yeah.
other and were hugging each other
yeah.
because they
Oh,
were so emotionally.
I
Right.
feel like they'd be a puddle of people.
Yeah.
I just feel like,
Right out of college, I did a play at Belmont that a buddy of mine produced, and I did the original like table read for. And then he was like, "No, I actually want to be in the play." So the very end of it, though, involved me breaking down in tears. And in the last dress rehearsal before we did our first show, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go full send," and I did it, and I fully actually broke down in tears. And when we finished, everyone walked up and like, "Are you okay?" And I just immediately perked up. Was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's called acting."
Wow.
Like but yeah, in that moment, you let yourself go, and everything will just flow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So when I can imagine when you have 12 people
Yeah.
all doing that, it's like it doesn't stop for a minute. Like you all have to be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's back off for a second.
That was my favorite part of like the community was that they all experience together.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like that makes emotions so much more realistic to like have them, and like children see that and they're like, oh, so you're not always just supposed to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the very end, when they hear the guys in the barn
They're all
burning,
screaming.
yeah, they're all joining in because
Yeah.
they're like, no, the whole point of their sacrifice is that we feel it with them.
I think that makes life a lot easier to live when
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we're going through this together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I didn't pick up on this till later. I actually saw it but didn't register it. But there is a hidden Easter egg early on. There's a painting early in the film of
The bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of-
I want that. I don't know
Yeah.
how I don't have it yet.
Wherever we got the shower curtain, maybe.
Yeah.
I've looked. They had it, but I want to get like a good version of it. I have been looking for that for
Yeah, it's a woman wearing a crown kissing a bear, and it's like above her bed or whatever.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that they introduced the bear so early with the most meta line in the whole movie, because they do exactly what Will Poulter, or maybe it's the guy writing the thesis, but they walk by and they're like, so we're just going to ignore the bear, and then you don't see the bear until the very end.
It's a
Yeah.
bear.
Yeah, he tells you exactly. He's like, no, we're going to ignore it. It's going to be there, but you're never going to see it until the very end of the movie.
Yeah,
I just love how that guy's like, that's a bear.
Yeah.
yeah.
I laughed so
You're
hard.
gonna be inside of that bear.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming, and then I remember when you first see Christian in the bear, I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
No, that's no way for that guy to go out. That's
No.
a horrible death.
Yeah, he
And-
wasn't
well,
that
he's-
bad of a boyfriend.
Yeah.
He was not that
No.
bad of a boyfriend. He was bad, but
It sucks because he couldn't move or speak or anything, but he could feel every bit of pain.
yeah.
Really, I wondered
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he could feel it or not.
Because no, she literally just said you won't be able to move, but they never mentioned like not feeling pain. And especially knowing that the other guys who took the sap were supposed to not feel pain and then felt everything. I'm like, no, he felt everything. He just couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't react.
They were screaming.
Yeah.
They were like, here you go. Ah!
What is crazy though is if you do get set on fire like that, you would only be in pain for about 5 seconds, and then all your nerves would be shot, and you wouldn't feel anything from then on.
Thank
Oh, that's
God.
good to know.
That's
Yeah.
good to hear.
At least. Yeah, there's nothing worse. Like I've watched a ton of horror in my life, but watching people burn on screen is still horrible.
Yeah.
The
Ari
worst.
Aster really likes people.
He does.
He really does.
Yeah.
This movie has so many.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Starts off with killing old people.
People set on fire.
Ends almost exactly the same way.
Probably this is the last rando. Probably the only thing I'll ever like that I read about Ariana Grande. But apparently, this movie really was. And I was trying to ask myself. I was like, did this? It didn't necessarily put A24 on the map. They had a ton of movies before.
Yeah.
And they did. They had. If you look at their list, like they had a ton of movies before this.
Spring
But
Breakers was an A24 movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this movie took it up a notch.
Yeah.
Like and so much so that Ariana Grande, like pop culture was all over it. And her 27th birthday was a Midsummer
Oh, that's
themed
funny.
birthday party. And she dressed as the May Queen. Or no, they had a May Queen crown. They did the whole thing. So I don't give a crap about Ariana or pop stars at all. But she did have it was a big deal.
That's funny.
That makes me like her. All
Yeah,
of a sudden.
exactly.
Yeah,
Man.
me and her, we're both 25% Italian.
Yeah, this definitely took them from that weird indie studio to like a staple of horror.
Yeah.
And they've been on a tear ever since.
Yeah.
And they pair with my favorite hippie t-shirt company. The funny thing about this shirt is that it's not that I love it because it's A24. It's I know about it because it's Online Ceramics.
Oh, nice.
Which is, do you know about them?
I've heard of them.
It is a Grateful Dead inspired hippie line of clothes. And
Nice.
they're all made in America. And
Not a sponsor, but feel free. Please
Yeah.
sponsor us.
Oh my God, I love you guys so much.
Yeah.
But they make everything in the US, and when you order something, they're like, it could be about 30 days before we get around to this. Okay. We're doing mushrooms.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. We're trying to quit, but we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it combines everything I love. So it's like it's an Online Ceramic shirt, and it's A24, and it's Midsommar.
Shall we put on the bear suit?
Yes.
Yes.
Shall we
Jump off some cliffs.
jump off some cliffs?
Yeah.
Let's cut the bear open. Let's war.
Let's set the barn on fire.
Let's do it. Top bill cast. Oh, and yes, our category. So for yes, it's let me go. Where's my damn spreadsheet? If you dig it, affirmative, positive, love it. May Queen.
Okay.
All right. And Bear Suit. If you don't like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There was great dialogue, but nothing super quotable.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be dropping crazy Midsummer quotes at a dinner party.
I forgot to remind him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't get over that, actually. No, it's my fault. I forgot to remind him it's my birthday.
That was total
girl.
self-victimization to a T.
This is how women do not need to behave.
That's how no one needs to behave.
Nobody needs to behave that way, yeah.
I know, but the funny thing is she's talking to Pele, right? And he's like, don't worry, it's going to be okay.
He's like, do you feel held by him? Oh, what a great line.
It was in that moment he was like, let's burn him in a bear suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I've had a plan this whole time.
You will be my wife.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
He is.
He's a good-looking guy.
I mean, he's...
Yes. And he actually made it to the top bill cast, even though it's like, who is this guy? Top bill cast, Florence Pugh, Jack Rayner, and Wilhelm Blomgren.
I mean, when everyone gets paid like 10 grand, it's not hard to get to be the top billed cast.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And a Dairy Queen gift card in Budapest. I love the Budapest
Only
Dairy
useful
Queen.
in the month of May.
Costco membership for life.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously this is a May Queen. Like, god damn, everybody put their fucking all into it. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to find problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, everyone put 110% into it.
I believed them for so long. I hated Jack Rayner because of this movie.
Yep.
I mean, I don't hate you as a person. You're actually a very good actor. But
Yeah.
like, you're so good. He's so good. I'm just talking to him now.
Yeah, because you're watching.
Obviously,
Jack.
at this point, I feel like he will see it.
Oh, he may see it.
But when somebody's such a good actor that you actually hate them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
I mean, this is the same thing we talked about in Sometimes I Feel About Dying.
Yeah.
The one girl who's like the office manager. Fucking hate her in that, but it's because she's so good.
And she's very real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that Meg Stalter?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the Meg Stalter appreciation podcast from you.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah. I kept tagging her and shit. She never responded. But David Maherle,
Yeah.
he now follows us.
Yeah,
great.
now he's gonna stop because you just butchered his name, I'm sure.
Maherle G.
We love you, Dave.
I'm going to cut that shit out. Yeah.
I would.
But yeah, so I'm assuming this is a May Queen from you.
Yeah, May Queen.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody else being cast in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a gut-wrenching story. And in Christian or Jack Rayner, the way he plays him, it's very believable. Like, he's very, he feels like a very real person to me.
Yeah.
You know, the way he portrays. And that's part of the reason I'm like, how bad is he? I mean, he just feels like a confused college guy to me.
Yeah.
And he nails it.
Yeah.
Nails it.
So across the board, and I love Pele as a character. Like I just, there's literally, I could go out and look for imperfections and not find any here.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
absolutely fantastic. And the dialogue, we'll get to it in writing, but the dialogue is also just so well written.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who could
And
bitch.
well performed. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've seen good dialogue butchered before, so.
Yeah, here it's a marriage of two really great things. So, May Queen. All right.
1-0 for those counting at home.
1-0. I've got the spreadsheet open. All right, supporting cast. Here we go. The great William Jackson Harper is Josh, which it was great to see him here. Will Poulter is Mark.
Love him.
Love Will Poulter.
Yeah. Eyebrows.
You guys are getting paid? That happened. I'll bet you that happened on this movie. Like, they finished it, and he starts passing out checks, and Will's just like, you guys are getting paid? What?
funny.
The characters I fell for the most was Elora Torchia as Connie and Simon, played by Archie Matawecki.
Yeah.
that poor couple, and the rest are just a lot of great actors, but not anybody we would know.
And not anyone that you could pronounce their names easily, I'm sure.
I can barely pronounce normal names.
Will Poulter. Yeah,
Will-
see, I just fucked up Will Poulter.
Yeah. Will exacerbates.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, like, here's the thing, and don't take this as negative, but as far as the supporting cast goes, it is a squeak over for me. I do think everyone did a good job. However, in between the English and American actors that are in it, and then you have the Swedish actors, none of the Swedish people, not none, maybe one or two, but most of the Swedish people ever stood out to me.
Yeah.
But the American and English people, they all really stood out as far as doing a great job at all of their characters. So it is definitely a May Queen, but it is a little bit of a squeak over for me. I don't think anyone did a bad job, but it's one of those things, like we've talked about this in other movies. There are some movies where every single side, the Speed Racer, every single side character stands out in some way.
Right.
This one, and I know they're kind of supposed to, but a lot of them just blend in, and then you have a few that really stand out. So that's why it's a squeak over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is a May Queen for me. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But there are like a handful of the Swedish people that I remember very clearly.
Yeah.
And one of them only says "tack," and then she walks away. And I don't know why, but I'm just like, that is just the most beautiful Swedish person.
Golden Globe for you.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the woman who kind of helps her be the May Queen.
Yeah.
I love her. She's like one of my favorite characters. But most of them do kind of fall into the back.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't say that negatively towards anybody, but as someone who's just strictly objectively looking at this, some people could have stood out more, but it's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember. There is one though in particular that stands out big time. I can't remember because the character
The Oracle?
names. No. That stood out for different reasons. Sten, it was either Sten or Ingmar, the character, but the one who gets
Ingmar.
pissed when he pisses on the tree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy.
That's not Ingmar.
Yeah.
That is
Ingmar's the brother.
Is that Sten?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sten. Okay, yeah, played by Lars Varlinger. His emotion, and then when he's just staring at him at the dinner table, just that face. I'm like, I'm a sucker for facial expressions. Like, oh my God, I can't imagine someone staring at me like that.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed because he was pissed. I was like, I get it.
Will Poulter got skinned and he still doesn't know.
Yeah. See, this is
why they're
where it
mad.
brings me back to the best horror movies are about the unluckiest and the stupidest people.
Yeah.
And Will Poulter, I think, falls under both of those.
Yeah.
He's a moron because clearly this fallen tree is separated from the forest for a reason and surrounded in ash. Like none of it looks like the rest of the place. Yeah. But also, dude had to take a piss. And he didn't want to like do it in front of people, so
listen,
he's dumb, but also like very unlucky.
I'm from Arkansas. Maybe you can relate being from Alabama. You see a tree on the ground. That's perfect pissing ground.
Exactly. It's not unreasonable that he went there, but it's also like you should have been a little more observant.
Even if I don't have to take a piss, I see a tree on the ground. I'm like, boy, I wish I could work up a piss right now.
Yeah.
That tree is just begging for it.
That's so funny because, like, for me, because I haven't peed in nature as much as men have, I guess, just because of the ease of it.
Yeah.
But I felt like the tree was like very out in the open. I would have gone deep in the forest and gotten some tick bites.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they were supposed
Tick.
to. I don't know if they had a bathroom or an outhouse or anything. There's one outhouse at the very beginning where she sees herself in the mirror when she's on mushrooms.
But that was away from everything.
Yeah.
But they don't really, you don't see any of that. So I don't even know, like, how
yeah.
far away could the bathroom have been?
Yeah.
You know?
That's where I'm like, I could
He's
see
unlucky.
why he would have done that, but
Yeah.
it's also like, come on, dude, like read the room.
I don't know. I was like, I want to piss on that tree. That's a good tree.
I just feel like they also brought that guy because they're like, well, we need sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to bring, like, my favorite people from America.
If you're gonna make it that easy.
Yeah.
I know. Like, we have to bring some assholes. Like, some of them might make it.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's funny. I mean, I think they put it. I think maybe it really was for the burial of their ancestors, but I think it was like they put it out there on purpose. Like, oh, someone's gonna piss on that.
They could, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna get one.
Americans can help themselves.
Then we get to skin him.
Fishing for Swedes.
Swedish fish, which are manufactured in Canada, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I'd said that. I hate when this happens. Just dub my voice over it. Swedish fish, and then you say,
Cool. I'm gonna cut her voice over mine. I'm gonna give her the joke.
We got ventriloquists here, y'all.
2-0. We are getting closer to the sacrifice. Writing, and I believe Ari had a partner. Nope, it was just him. I thought he had a partner, but nope, he directed and he wrote it. Ari
That's
Aster.
crazy.
nice.
So
Wow.
this is one of those movies where the script, I highly doubt there was much, if any, improv happening. Like I feel like every word that was spoken was written down. But he also hits this crazy Michael Crichton level of conversationalist where everything feels natural. People are talking over each other a little bit, but not to the point where it's like, what's everybody saying? Like, it's so well done This is a 10 out of 10 script for me. This is absolutely a May Queen. Like, this was so well written.
Wow.
Not once watching this movie did I ever think, oh, I know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Except for the jumping, but I mean, that was blatantly obvious. If you didn't see that was coming, you're a fucking idiot.
Wow. Coming from you, that's saying a lot too.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like the I feel that one person wrote this.
Yeah.
It's so cohesive.
Yeah.
As an idea. I love the script. I think it's perfect. I like that it's very understated and it's not brashly American, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice. I think that's also why it's kind of a relaxed horror movie
Yeah.
to watch. What was the question?
What do you think about the writing, the dialogue,
May Queen
script,
or Bear Suit?
character?
Oh, May Queen.
May Queen.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yas May Queen.
Yas.
Sorry.
Yas.
I can't talk today.
Yas,
James
yas.
isn't here today, okay?
That's true. We had James Holiday on last
He did-
Oh my god.
He did 300 with us.
I love James
He
Holiday.
loves those Spartans, let me tell you.
Oh my
I
God.
bet.
Yeah, he really
was-
Oh
does.
my god.
He was talking about seeing it in IMAX and having like his third sexual awakening. I was just like, oh my
Yes.
goodness.
He's
He was a
like,
hoot.
this is when I knew I was gay.
He was like, no, that was like the third time he remembered he was gay. He was just like, I'm as big as one of their abs. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm
It was
editing
so
that.
good.
There's some thighs in that movie. I
Yeah.
didn't even know I was attracted to thighs until that
Yeah.
movie. I didn't know thighs could look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good thighs.
Gross.
There's a reason you're into WWE now.
It's definitely the men in underwear. The women in underwear is nice too.
Yeah. But the thighs.
Oh,
The man thighs.
Especially Stone Cold Steve Austin's thighs. Whoa.
Yeah, they're legit.
Whoa. He doesn't even fit in pants. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop.
He
Wow.
He can't drive a four-wheeler.
Sounds like I need to add a new category here.
Thigh
Thighs.
boys.
Thigh boys.
Thailand.
How are the thighs in the movie?
Yeah.
I'll take the thighs.
I went May Queen here too, this is where I started texting you. I was like, I just can't believe how intricate this dialogue is.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's the mystery that it all creates, because even though I feel like this can only end horrifically,
Yeah.
they do such an interesting job creating this world through the writing of this commune / cult. And you're also like, how much it's challenging me. It's like, are you an American that's afraid to buy into a different culture? And you're afraid because there is this embedded idea. There's a lot of ideas in this. It's not just about toxic relationships. I think it's also about Americanism and colonialism and these ideas of how Americans view the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's that idea too. And I'm like asking myself, I'm like, am I an American that's afraid of, indigenous behavior? Or is this fucking psycho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the writing never lets me off the hook either way.
No, not till that last moment.
Then you're like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
this is messed up.
Yeah.
But there are moments where you buy like community is nice.
Yeah.
I feel lonely. Like I need a community, and it's like and they're toying with me the whole
Oh, yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
it's so intricate.
Well, especially that whole speech about, no, they're choosing to do this to end their lives. We don't want to grow so old that we become a burden on
Yeah.
our society. Like, in that moment, you're like, oh, yeah, I could buy that.
That makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
some
that's
countries,
a cultural thing. I get it. And then you hit the end and you're like, no, that was all fucked.
yeah, euthanasia was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just lost in the conversation. I just think all the way through. I just can't believe how well written
Yeah.
this was. So
Yeah.
Oh.
I
wanna-
wish A24 would put the script on sale because I don't want to spend $50 on a script.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And bring back the bear in a cage, please. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They don't really release that. I have the incense holder. I would have brought it, but it's very fragile. And
Yeah,
I
fair.
don't want to break it.
you brought enough, and this is fantastic.
Isn't
in
that
this
great?
show.
It's a tree topper.
Oh, that's great.
I haven't done Christmas yet, so
Oh, yeah.
maybe I'll do a Midsummer tree.
Just deck it out in flowers.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
I would be afraid if I was your husband, though. I'd be like, am I gonna get burned up?
He's just
Yeah.
walking around looking for the bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be sacrificed.
I better
Have
be.
y'all done a bear Danny costume yet?
No.
Couples costume?
We've never done a couples costume.
You should do it.
We
This is
should.
the year.
This year,
Perfect.
yeah.
That's pretty. And
We'll do a
y'all-
Movie Wars Halloween party.
We should.
Yeah.
Y'all have never seen my husband naked, but he just took off all of his clothes. He would look like the
Yeah.
bear.
Yeah. Now I kind of want to though.
Yeah.
I know, because
Yeah.
he's furry.
Yeah.
I'm a furry because he's furry. Get it?
We talk so much about your husband. I want to meet him one day.
Oh, he's a
we've-
great guy.
We invited him to a show. I've still never met him, but we talk.
Yeah.
He sounds like amazing guy. I want to.
He's great.
Is he going to be there Saturday? Or not Saturday, next Friday?
He's not.
Okay.
He never comes to shows like that because I feel like I'm at work and I feel like
Mm.
I don't know. He just doesn't really like.
See, Mike's is where I would not invite a significant other,
Yeah.
but shows I'm like, yeah, come on, this is where I get to showcase
Yeah.
everything.
Well, he might
Don't watch
actually
me work though.
I should ask him to come to this show because his main reason for not wanting to be around comedy is he's like, everybody's like a lead singer. It has like lead singer energy. And I'm like, oh
Interesting.
yeah,
It's
it's
so
not
true.
all of
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah, I
you know
get
what
it
I'm
though.
talking about.
I get it though.
It's
just
always
like-
interesting getting an outsider's perspective on comedians because
Yeah.
it's like, ouch, that's so true.
Yeah.
I know.
Bunch of
he's just
Anthony Kiedis is walking around.
like, no, exactly. Exactly.
I'm not gonna name names, but one person immediately came to mind.
Amazing.
He has a mustache. That's all I'll say.
Oh,
I think you guys
This
know.
should be coming to me. Oh wait, yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah.
it's not coming to me because I've taken a long break.
I'll tell you off air.
Tell me off air.
You know him though.
Off air. We got an on-air light thing up there.
Yeah.
Directing. It's 3-0. Ari Aster.
Yeah, it's gonna be 4-0 because obviously this is fucking incredible. This
Yeah.
I haven't seen Beau is Afraid, and I know he's got the new movie coming out in Eddington. But of the two I've seen, this is his masterpiece. Like Hereditary was good. I will never watch it again unless I have the promise of some very dirty sex from a very beautiful woman because that movie disturbs the ever living shit out of me. So, but this is a 10 out of 10 flawless movie on his part. So yeah, obviously this is
Same. May Queen all the way.
yeah.
Oh my God. I rewatched Hereditary to like kind of get back familiar with it because I only watched it one time and I said the same thing. I was like, I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
And I watched it again and I'm like, I want to watch this again and again. It's really
It's the one scene with the decapitation. The first time I saw it, I had a full out panic attack,
Yeah.
hyperventilating, white knuckling the couch. It was bad.
But then at the end, she inhabits her brother's body.
Yeah.
Because anyway, she gets him back. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think I've never been so blown away by the creativity in small things.
Yeah.
The way Ari Aster does it.
Yeah.
I just think. I don't know. Nobody makes anything like him, and I cannot wait to hear Afraid because that's one of those like sometimes when my husband's out, I will just be like, all right, I'm gonna get these, and I'm going to watch this movie, and nothing will distract me. Everything in the house is off.
The cats are off.
The cats are outside.
Yeah.
Everything, nothing will disturb me because like it is a lot. It's kind of like Schenectady, New York, but
Okay.
it's just one of those like it's very different.
Yeah. I'll get to
than
it.
These.
I'll
Yeah.
get to it. Yeah, I know he kind of leaves the horror genre now, which is fine. He kind of perfected it with this. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
yeah.
am interested to see it.
Probably gave himself nightmares.
Yeah.
I bet he
He gave Florence Pugh nightmares, so I'm sure
Yeah.
he lives with it too.
If Stephen King's cheese gave him his own nightmares,
Yeah.
it's fucking cheesy Stephen King dog shit.
Let's do more Stephen King material.
I don't know why I've read so many of his books. I always read it and go, really? I've read the 30th one. I'm like, damn it, Stephen.
Again?
Just do the thing.
No more child orgies.
Yeah, write a complete novel without telekinesis. Literally, every book will be start off like, oh, this could be pretty good. Telekinesis. Ah!
Yeah.
It's his crutch. Everybody's got to have
I
telekinesis.
know.
I'm surprised Cujo didn't have telekinesis. I'm gonna give a more weird answer for this because it's a May Queen. You know, I've been doing movie wars for 5 years, so we've talked about so many movies, and it's like been like a self-education. One thing I've been looking at this category through with directing is budget because we have been getting into lower budget movies.
Yeah.
One thing that's become very clear and profound to me, more modern filmmaking than older, because this was very regular. You know, but until about 1988, like budgets, restraints, those were very commonplace.
Yeah.
With the advent of CGI technology and all the things, it's made it easier. But you know, we talked about so many gigantic budget movies with mega cast and the director, the badass director, and you don't feel a damn thing.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
And I watched this $9 million budget. And yeah, there's some scenes in the city when they're setting it up before they go to Sweden, and then there's the little remote part before they go to the village. But 90% of this movie takes place in this small remote area.
Yeah.
But it feels like such a big story.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how much life he generated.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because of the scenery he chose, the way they built the village, just the fucking when the yellow hut. What's the official name of that thing? Does it have a real
The
name?
temple.
The temple.
Yeah, they called it a temple.
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest moment for me when it's like, oh, that's not for us, and
Yeah.
it was in the distance.
Yeah.
And like this is really probably like 3 square miles of land,
If that.
but it
Yeah.
feels
It's a field.
Maybe like 2-3 acres.
yeah. But it feels just like such
It's a whole world.
It's a whole world, and
Yeah.
he builds it slowly, and there's so much mystery just in the dialogue, and I just think he was absolutely masterful here. And it pisses me off when I watch these giant big budget movies that just you walk away just feeling hollow.
Yeah.
And you see this $9 million, and you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like he just knocked me on my ass. So I didn't mean to turn that to a festival of love, but I just really blown away.
Well-deserved.
The intricacy here is baffling.
Yeah.
So I just love it when and because he wrote it and directed it. I mean, this is a vision executed.
Yeah, 100%.
From bottom to top,
Yeah.
every detail accounted for. So just kudos. Yeah.
And every time I watch it, I'm like again and again.
Mhm.
It's always.
It's one of the few horror films that I will always go.
Yeah, and again, that reminds me, and this has been a drum I've been beating for a couple of years, and we mentioned it on one podcast. I think maybe it was The Shining where you were with us, but horror is where innovation's happening right now.
Yeah.
We're not shooting in LA anymore. We can't afford it. We're knee deep in superhero movies, and Warner Brother is $38 billion in debt, and they're only doing IP now. They're not doing original anything.
Yeah.
They've declared that.
Wow.
Horror, though, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because they feel like they have less boundaries, but horror is where
that's exactly why.
Yeah. There's just innovation and creativity there that's not happening in a lot of other genres right now.
Well, there's a lot of forgiveness in horror because of the roots of horror in the B movies of the 50s especially.
Yeah.
That was the birth of horror. Before that, it was kind of like gothic horror
Hitchcock.
and everything. Well, even I'm talking before Hitchcock first. You had the very theatrical, like Frankenstein's and gothic horror, and it was a very much a regal genre. Then the 50s come along, and we start getting just B-grade monster horror. Then Hitchcock comes along and brings like a psychological element to it. But even he wasn't really doing horror. He was doing way more thriller than horror.
Yes.
Then you hit the 80s, the 70s and 80s, where you have Alien come out, you have Predator come out, you have
Slasher.
all of these crazy slasher horror movies that still were campy in some ways, but brought a lot of legitimacy to the genre. You also had Silence of the Lambs, which won the Oscar for Best Picture. It's one of the only horror movies to win the Best Picture Oscar. So that brought the legitimacy, but because of the B-grade origins of it, as long as you have a cool concept and as long as they can see that you're not trying to skip out of doing it right, it can have some mistakes and people still love it. Because you're doing something different. And horror is the only genre I feel like that gives you that leeway to make mistakes.
I love that. I think that's why I used to not understand, because there are horror people. I hear from them on this podcast, right?
That would be me.
Right. You're a nice one though. There are people like I covered Nightmare on Elm Street a long time ago, and I just got lambasted for some stuff. But that was from the like horror, like I don't even know a good word for it, but the obsessive horror fans.
Yeah.
But now I get it. Now I get it, because it's like when other things grow stale, it's the one genre where I can go to, like, I know I'm going to get something good here.
Yeah.
Like The Substance.
Oh my God.
I've heard good things. I need to see it.
Can we please do that one too?
Yeah.
That is like, I've been thinking about that movie nonstop.
Remind me to fast for a day before, but yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway, that was a long tangent. Sorry. 4-0. What's in front of us? We are on our way to a beautiful sacrifice here.
Yeah. It's going to be a queen sweep. Let's be real.
Queen sweep.
That's what it feels like.
Queen sweep.
Especially this category. Cinematography, production, design, sound, costumes, editing.
Yeah, it's all fucking flawless. Like,
And
it's
stunts.
all incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
He has a perfect balance of symmetry and asymmetry in the cinematography in this one especially. Like when things need to be Wes Anderson level symmetrical, they are. When things need to feel a little bit off, they are. Every shot feels so planned out. Every transition is, and we've been big on how good or bad transitions are recently.
Yeah.
Every single one of them fucking flawless.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. There were a few moments when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, that was just seamless. So good. So yeah, it's 100% a May Queen. This is such a goddamn good.
Oh my God. As you were talking, it actually reminded me of some of the cinematography in Hereditary. There's one scene where like there's the house and it's night and then it clicks and it's day. And it's the exact same shot. And I'm like, that is so genius. But I'm sorry. I'm not even talking about the question.
Do it.
This is a total May Queen. The first scene when they're driving into Hälsingland.
Yeah.
where it's upside down.
Yep.
That's like the first time I'd ever really seen that.
Yep.
It's almost Kubrick-like.
Yes.
Yes.
The only other shot that I've seen in a movie that I can think of is from Limitless, when he first takes the drug and he's getting off the drug.
Yeah.
He's hitting the kind of withdrawal levels, and he runs over the camera. The camera flips upside down, and then he throws up upside down.
Ugh.
That's the only other
Love it.
time I can think of a shot like that was done successfully, because it is so easy to make that shot look shitty.
Yeah.
And they flawless.
Like they can,
so good.
They can over drone it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also is really good at the long oneers. Like the whole, again, we talked about it earlier, that whole reflection shot. That's like a 2-minute shot.
I know.
And the camera doesn't move at all.
I know.
And it's so interesting to watch.
Yeah. And they separate her from everybody.
Yeah.
I love that because she's in the mirror reflected.
Yep.
So beautiful.
The sound design is incredible. Every moment that needs to sound visceral does. And then the dead silence at other times, just, it's so good.
The music is so good in this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love Prophecy. That's my favorite song. From
I couldn't
it.
tell you the names of them,
about-
but I believe you.
It's about 15 seconds long.
Nice.
It's so
But
cool.
yeah, May Queen, absolutely, all the way. I
Yeah.
could talk. Oh my God, the costume.
Yeah.
That's another part that really puts you in the world.
Yeah.
That is low budget, a low budget way of doing it.
Yeah.
Is that he created this world where all of these people are in this big pageant
Yeah.
of life. And I love that they set it during just this. You don't get to see them in their regular clothes. I
Yep.
mean, Ingmar and Pele a little bit.
At the very beginning.
At the very beginning, you get to see, they do wear regular clothes too. But yeah.
You definitely need, next time you go to LA, you need to go to the Academy Museum and you need to see it, because the dress
The May Queen,
in person
wow.
is just astonishing.
Yeah.
It looks, when she's struggling to
Yeah.
walk at the very end, I'm like, no, I can.
It looks
it looks
painful.
that heavy. It
Yeah.
looks like it weighs 100 pounds.
It probably does.
Yeah,
It's like a weight vest.
It's so beautiful.
In this episode of Marianna Goes to La La Land.
Yeah. I wish. I've never been.
I'm going in August.
Ooh, nice.
Hope you come back in one piece, bro.
Oh, I will.
Just kidding.
I'll dance out to 30 Seconds to Mars, and then I'll be back. It'll be a good time.
I go May Queen here, and I think a big thing is the imagery. The cinematography here is stunning. And also, I think it's interesting. This is one of those cases where even the subtext of what this movie is about, besides the relationship stuff, about what I said earlier with the Americanism and expansionism of American thought, like the thing I was thinking about this is like, okay, so from an American point of view, putting myself in the college student's shoes, this looks like a place we would retreat to. Like this is like we would pay a lot of money to go on an ayahuasca retreat here.
Totally.
And the massage spa over here, and the mineral pool over here.
And the ash piss tree over here.
Yes. But this is their way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the imagery though is it's so like, as an American, I think, oh, it would be so nice to vacation there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I could go and find peace there. But this is their way of life.
Yeah.
And it's weird how like you see the imagery, but it just kind of feels like you can't help but feel like these Americans are continually contaminating everything that they touch.
Yeah.
It kind of feels similar. Did you ever see The Green Inferno?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Oh my
and it
God.
feels very similar, of like the Americans forcing their own views on another part of society that they don't understand.
Right.
Man, that movie haunts me.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That's
And
That movie,
Great
single-handedly,
movie.
in my opinion, is the greatest practical effects horror movie I've ever seen.
right.
Yeah. Is
It-
that Eli Roth?
Yeah.
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 It
amazing.
still didn't.
And Daryl Sabera from Spy Kids.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
It somehow didn't still didn't hit the highs of the movie that paid homage to, which is Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which I don't think Roth wanted to, but that he said that was his dedication to that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that one, I remember when it came out, it was heavily protested because of how gruesome it was, and it definitely ended up flying under the radar. But
Yeah. But anyway, the imagery here is just stunning. I just can't believe how, like you said, symmetrical earlier. A lot of the shots are insanely like the framing.
But then there's one little thing that's off balance that's supposed to give you that little creeping feeling that something's fucked.
Which thing?
Just in all of those shots,
Oh.
they'll start very symmetrical. Then one person will be just
Some
a little off the center.
Some of it's the angular buildings too.
Yeah.
The buildings are a little unsettling.
Yeah.
Like sometimes from the front, like, oh, that looks like a cool little lodge, and then from the side, it's like, why is it angled like that to
Yep.
the ground?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's happening in there?
But it's always
Yeah.
It's like in those big wide shots where the building is symmetrical, you'll have like the door, like the dormitory where they all stand. The door's off the center. It's just a little off the center.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, something fucked is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that baby crying in the background.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's that one shot where she's on the May Queen and they have her lifted up, and her sister, her face is. I saw that online.
Interesting.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
I didn't
see it in the movie. Somebody else pointed it out, but it was her sister with the thing in her mouth. The tube.
Oh.
I need you to help me find that because I'm going to put that on Instagram.
Yeah. I'll show it to you.
Cool. Please do.
I was looking up what is Midsommar about.
Yeah, I know. I thought I knew, and then I left with like 6 interpretations.
Yeah.
I was like, God, this
is this about pagans or
Yeah.
something?
This is about Viking cruises. Brought to you by. All right, 5-0. All right, bro categories. Here we go. This one's called relationship goals. The reason I picked this category, and it goes back to my question earlier. Again, I'm not afraid to get a clean sweep on this movie, but
Queen sweep.
Queen sweep.
Yes.
Yes, queen sweep. But the only kind of, if you want to call it a flaw, is the level of toxicity of this relationship versus how Ari Aster, because one rando I didn't get to is that this is based on a very toxic breakup that he had. That's what fueled his writing of this.
Okay.
And if you talk to normal people, they're just like, that's what this movie's about. But given that's the fact, this is really a yes or a no to, does the toxicity of this relationship really equate to the outcome at the end? And is he really such a bad boyfriend, and does it really make sense, his demise? Like, that balance. Do you think that's a good balance struck here?
That is a very interesting question because, like I said earlier, I could definitely I feel for both sides of things. I think the way that she has interpreted it by the end is what determines it, because she's still on drugs. Mm-hmm. She's still freaking out from everything that's been going on. She doesn't have the context of he was basically raped when he was forced to have sex with because all she saw was him fucking her.
That's true.
She didn't see anything before. So at that moment, that's what broke her. And her any love or respect she had for him was gone at that moment. I think from if you only look at it from her perspective, yes, that all justified how it ended. But obviously, as the outsider looking in, we get to see, well, they're both kind of shitty to each other. They're neither of them are standing up for themselves in the way that they should. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like at that point it's justified in her mind, but also kind of justified by the fact that he didn't have the balls to do what he had to do earlier. So yeah, if you're not gonna have the balls to break up with someone when you should have 6 months ago,
true.
Yeah, you deserve to get shoved into a bare body.
We're not doing May Queen.
Oh yeah. So what would May Queen?
May Queen
that
would be
he
like,
deserved
yes, it nailed, like the movie nailed it. Like, yeah.
It's a squeak over May Queen for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the squeak over system? A squeak can be anywhere from a 50 on the feel scale to a 79. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, it's a 5. It's a 5.1.
I literally just make up numbers.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, this is where me being stupid.
56, 57 on a squeak scale.
Squeak over is a 5.1. Anything above that is a scotch.
Yeah.
And then a squeak under is a 4.9.
Yeah. And then we get to my, which we haven't gotten to my scale, but I like the shit ton and the fuck ton scale.
Yeah.
A fuck ton is bigger than a shit ton.
A fuck ton is 9 and up. A shit ton is probably 8 to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You knew that. I didn't even. I don't know.
It just makes sense.
We've been doing this long enough now. He just knows.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. All right. I think May Queen.
Squeak, scotch, fucker.
Shit ton, fuck ton.
This would be a fuck ton of a scotch. I think it's a fuck ton of a scotch. I'm gonna clip that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's man. No, we were talking about it earlier. I agree. When I first watched it, and especially if I was 25, I'd be like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Fuck that guy. Especially that part where he like forgot her birthday and then he's trying to light the candle.
That was so good.
But do you remember they're in front of 5 generations of women.
Yeah.
Rocking and singing to a baby.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there trying to light a candle.
So good.
And I just
Really well done.
Yeah.
I want to know if the mishap was planned or if that happened and then he was like, no, keep doing that.
That's a great small detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I could see it going because it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was like, look at this guy. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's both of their faults, really. I mean,
Yeah.
they're kids. They're bad at relationships. I was not good at relationships we could interview my ex-boyfriend from that time, and he would have some things to say. But it's both of them. They're both the problem.
Yeah.
May Queen, in that, like, it's a good description of a ship, but they're so young. I feel like I just don't want to hold them accountable. Definitely not punishable by death.
Real, yeah.
Badness. Like,
So wait, are you a bear suit?
I guess I'm a bear suit.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm a bear suit.
Squeak under on a bear suit.
I put you in a position to criticize your favorite movie.
But it's really, I didn't realize how old they were the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to me how old they were the first time I watched it. And now,
Yeah.
the age I am now, I'm like, it's so.
Yeah, because
it's
23-year-olds are still fucking stupid.
the most important aspect of the whole movie is that, of course.
Well, they're
bad
still
at
in
this.
school. There's it's great to keep going to get education, but like you're still in arrested development
Totally.
at that point.
Yeah. You're not a real human until you actually have to pay all your bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually went bear suit.
Bear suit.
I actually go bear suit here too. And
ruin the queen
Yes.
sweep.
And I'm so glad I picked this category. I actually struggled to pick categories, and then they hit me, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be a good one."
Yeah.
Here's my thing. This was a movie, like a lot of movies we cover, where it drove me to go do research because I was like, I think I know what I think this movie meant and how it ended, but ultimately, I'm really curious what he was thinking. And this is about toxic relationships and female liberation.
Yeah.
That is really the most consistent messaging I'm seeing from him.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I don't have a problem with that message. Fantastic, but they both individually need liberation from their own shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I just think, okay, that's great, but she gets off the hook, but he doesn't. Like they both neither. So it's like, okay, we kill him.
Stupid and unlucky.
Yeah, stupid and unlucky.
Yeah.
And so that it's the one thing in almost nearly, like I'm telling you, I think like this is a nearly perfect film in a lot of ways, and I don't say that often. I was stunned by a lot of this movie, but this is the one thing I was just like, he's not that bad. He's bad, but he's just, I knew people so much worse in real life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they're both just like, they shouldn't be together. And they both need to work on their own shit. But he is the one that dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why does she not have her own version of a reckoning here? She gets celebrated. And if this is really female liberation, it's like she gets to skate by on her bullshit.
At the same time, you still feel so uncomfortable when she's smiling at the end.
Oh,
yes.
Like that's the whole point.
Yes.
Is not all liberation, female, male, whoever, not all liberation is good, really. It's just good to that person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And no matter what race, whatever gender, nationality, one person's liberation is someone else's something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's just the law of physics. Not one thing doesn't happen without affecting something else.
Exactly.
And maybe that's part of the subtext is like whether or not it's warranted, somebody's got to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
But also, life's not fair. Like, it's just, what would have happened if he had not died there and then what? He goes back to America and then.
No, they probably would have been stuck there forever.
Right?
Yeah.
I just, so then would she have been stuck with him forever? I mean, like, then I would have killed him if that was the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his defense, I will say, as the movie went on, he actually got better at making sure she was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you could tell and this is again
He's
why
trying.
it's a squeak
Yeah.
over for me. He genuinely cared about her. Like that's why he didn't break up with her, was because he actually gave a shit. But it's like in some ways you gave so much of a shit that you didn't let her get better.
And
you coddled what she was going
and he stayed with her, although it was wrong.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, just tell the truth. But he stayed with her because in his mind that was going to hurt her the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just can't get over the fact that I'm like, she's just beautiful. And I feel like a lot of the times in relationships, like these horrible relationships, this guy just wants to be with this beautiful woman.
I mean,
even if she's insane.
in
Or
some
she's
ways,
not
I would
good.
say that's kind of Ari Aster's fault for picking one of the most beautiful women in the world to play her. Like, sure, you could have gotten a more plain looking person to play her, but it's like, in the context of what I know she can look like and what she looks like in the movie, she is, especially at that point, just kind of a sloppy mess for a little bit there.
Oh, I still see her as absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, she's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but she,
Wow.
in context, she's wearing loose-fitting clothes because she doesn't
not
feel
showing
comfortable in herself.
It's true,
she
she's not
clearly
dressing
isn't
sexy.
showering as much. Like, her hair is kind of greasy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like and it, it's one of those things where it's like you can't make Margot Robbie look ugly no matter how hard you
She's
try.
movie star ugly.
Exactly.
I know.
So it's like,
Man.
yeah, she's still fucking gorgeous, but it's like in context, she still is kind of a sloppy mess.
Yeah. But I feel like that's like a very realistic thing. That
Absolutely.
In the relationship.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
He doesn't want to break up with her because he's like, but I got this gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but I don't want to break up with her because
Yeah.
she's gorgeous. She's insane. But like,
Yeah.
God.
Well, and two more things. One thing you said that I actually forgot, and that's another thing. Like you do forget at a certain point that hallucinogens are just built in here.
Yeah.
At first, you're like, oh my God, they're all tripping, but they're tripping a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not gonna make things,
From the maypole on, they're all still on drugs.
Yeah.
and you're not gonna make an equitable decision
Yeah.
there, and it's things aren't gonna make sense,
Yeah.
right? So that's a good point. And then B, he is his priority at the beginning of the movie is his studies,
Yeah.
and his career, and his
Yeah.
paper, and his thesis.
Yeah.
And that is his focus.
Yeah.
And you kind of forget that as the movie goes on, but like to him, a relationship is always going to be a secondary thing. And I think a lot of people get into that. I know these people personally that are either going through a divorce or have bad relationships because the thing they do is more important than their relationship.
Yeah.
And that's a very real thing. And
Yeah.
so to him, his relationship always was secondary anyway.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that actually just hit me in the head that like his thesis was the most important thing to him.
So you changing? You think he's shitty enough?
Oh God, I don't know.
You know, I forgot about that dynamic of him being shitty to his
friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
taking the thesis in the middle of the movie. I
Are
forgot.
y'all swapping?
I
Are we
forgot
queen
about
sweeping?
that.
I feel like, yeah.
You know what?
Yes.
He is a shitbag.
That guy. Yeah. You know what? Fuck him.
I forgot about that. Like man, now I look really bad because I was kind of overlooking his stuff with his relationship.
Dang.
But he did. He rounded out his shitbag case
I
with how he
forget
treated
about
his
it.
own friend.
Yeah.
You know what? He's a shithole.
But like in the middle of the trip, Josh was like, I'm doing my thesis before they left.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of it, he's like, I mean, I'm going to do my thesis here too.
Yeah.
What an asshole. I'm
Yeah.
glad he burned.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Christian.
Burn him again. Midsummer too.
I love it.
That is the best quote from A Bug's Life ever. Burn him again. It's my favorite fucking movie quote ever.
God, I want to be a voice in A Bug's Life.
And one of my favorite things is when that happens on this podcast, when people flip. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes
Yeah.
it flips.
I flipped.
We both were on a journey there.
Yeah.
It's like, we were like, oh, God, wait a second. And then
Wait
you
a
gave me the
minute.
look like, are you flipping? I'm like, I didn't think that was an option.
know,
But
I
now
know.
that you're saying it.
It's always allowed.
Queen Sweet.
Yeah. Queen, sweep. Queen,
did it.
sweep.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that depends on what the last one is.
That's a good point. We don't even know.
It's an interesting one. This one's called Cult Following.
Oh, okay.
So we got a cult here. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's a commune. It's a cult.
Yeah, it's a
And-
cult.
It's a cult.
And so
It's
I
a Norwegian death cult.
It is.
yes, and I looked at
Sorry, Swedish.
some of the most. I did some research on the most celebrated and beloved cults in movie history, and I
Okay.
want to think
See
about
how
how
it stacks up.
yeah, The Family, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is obviously a real thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Firefly family from House of a Thousand Corpses
Haven't seen
Nice.
it.
was on that, and The Devil Rejects. That's on there. The Order of the Solar Temple from The Void is a
Haven't seen
beloved
it.
one.
Oh yeah.
The Brethren, Sound of My Voice. The Wicker Man, The Island Cult.
Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the new one
No,
either?
I haven't seen any of them.
Dizam.
You don't like cult movies.
It's not, I mean, I grew up with people who ended
Mm-hmm.
up being in cults, so it does hit home for me a little too hard sometimes, but.
You'll know this one. The Red Cloaks, Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
This one hit me hard. The Satanist and Rosemary's Baby. Oh my
Good
God.
one.
Armitage Family and Get Out.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Phelps Family and Martha Macy. And this is again a list I found. And then in The Master, The Church of Scientology.
Oh, nice. I think we should also add into it, I don't know the name of the cult, but like the Chinese cult in VHS 2.
Oh, I haven't seen that one
Oh
yet.
my god. Oh my god. Can we do an entire
I want
VHS
to.
series?
He actually, that was one
I
of the first ones he
suggested it a while
suggested.
ago, but
I'm,
yeah.
I'm obsessed with those. Those are my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Really?
I love them so much.
I wasn't ready at the time,
They are
but
messed
I
up.
think heading towards October maybe we
Yeah.
should. Yeah. Oh.
Oh my god. Favorite movies.
So there's a lot of good cults in movies. When I say good, I mean, interesting.
I mean, you know you like cult.
I do.
So what exactly is the question so I know what I'm saying?
How do we feel?
correctly?
Does this stack up against just film in general? Where in
Oh,
movies
yeah.
where cults are depicted, we should add the children of the children of the corn.
Children of the Corn? Yep. Absolutely. This.
walks behind the rose.
Fuck you, Stephen King.
Yeah, this is an absolute May Queen for me. This
Mm-hmm.
this stands out more to me than even the cult from Hereditary. Like, to me, this one is the one I remember. I
Mhm.
don't really remember any of the details of the Cult and Hereditary other than this one. It very much stands out to me. Definitely, I think it will be looked back upon as top 5 movie cults.
Yeah.
So it's a definite make.
Man, I just think I love cults.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, I don't talk to my mom, but like, I'm pretty sure that my entire life was like cult. I feel like I was perfect fodder for a cult
Yeah.
for so
Mhm.
long. Yeah, May Queen all the way. Every one of those you mentioned, by the way, I just realized I love watching movies about cults.
Yeah.
Specifically, I've seeked all of these movies. I sought out all of these
Yeah.
movies. I seeked them out.
Yeah. Sink 'em.
I seeked them. But I also was smoking a lot of weed and doing mushrooms during a lot of the movies, so I need to watch them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I like documentaries about cults. Like, I cannot watch enough
Ugh.
David Koresh documentaries.
See, I don't know if I like the documentaries about them as much as the movies, because I like the made-up ones. 'Cause
Yeah.
I want to be in the made-up ones.
Because those aren't real people getting
Yeah.
led to slaughter.
The
Yeah.
real ones, I'm like, I mean, this isn't cool. I
Yeah.
don't want to have sex with that guy.
That's so
But
funny.
in the movies, you're like, yeah,
Fuck him. For real, though.
Yeah.
yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's so good.
It's the best Tarantino movie, too, in my
When
opinion.
I watched
Yeah,
it 3 nights
Django.
in a row, which is that is how I know I love a movie, is when I watch it 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Because I can't help myself. I'm like, what else would I watch?
That is now my goal in filmmaking, to make a movie that Mariana will watch 3 nights in a row.
There we
Yes.
go. You'll be the screener.
There
Yeah.
we go. I love this.
So, May Queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Queen Sweep!
Queen Sweep. I go May Queen.
Yes.
And that's because it's interesting. You don't realize until you get older that there are cults all around.
Oh, yeah.
There's all kinds.
Oh, yeah.
And they exist in places you don't think. Like, you hear about all these Silicon Valley billionaires
Oh, yeah.
that are in cults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing. They're everywhere, and they're very interesting. And the reason this is actually like this is a heavy May Queen, because this cult, the way that it's depicted, toyed with me. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
maybe they mean well. Maybe
These are nice.
They seem nice. They seem like good people. And
Maybe
then,
it really is just ancient culture that has survived.
exactly. I'm trying to bail them out.
Yeah.
And then by the end, I'm like, no,
No,
man,
fuck this place.
fuck this place.
Ugh.
So just the very fact, the way that it's designed and orchestrated, toyed with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is good stuff. So it's a heavy May Queen.
I was like, by the end of the movie, I was like, I want to move there.
Yeah.
This place looks great.
Yeah.
Fit in awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you're blonde. You would survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Hey.
probably would win the dance off. I mean, you're a
Yeah.
fitness person.
No.
Especially on shrooms.
I have won so many dance competitions.
Yeah.
I won a Macarena competition. How do you even do that? I did it.
Future May Queen.
I knew a girl in high school. No, this was middle school for me. She was in high school. I was in middle school. She was at my church, and she won a hula hoop contest because she knew how to walk while hula hooping. And I think she went for like 4 hours,
Jeez.
but would just keep walking over to the snack table and grabbing food while still hula hooping.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like her.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Queen Sweep.
Queen
What the
Sweep.
fuck?
7-0.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you for chilling with us. Hopefully you're not in a state where you need to join a cult.
Yeah.
But
Or leave one.
what a great movie. We're so glad to have you back again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Do you have any shows coming up?
Next week, Stone Cold. Oh, you know what? It'll
this
be
will
done
be aired by then.
Yeah.
July. Any
July.
shows in July?
Yeah, I can't remember where I'll be in Kentucky a lot in July.
Kentucky.
Everybody's from Kentucky.
We
Check
have-
her Instagram.
we
She'll have
Cool.
everything up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes. Marianna Barksdale.
Yes.
She keeps switching her name on me.
I
Yeah.
know.
Anyway, love y'all, Kyle.
I'm Seth.
I'm Marianna.
See ya.
The Movie Wars.